Showtime in 10 minutes. Break a leg. 5 minutes till showtime.
Right on.
I just posted it in my sobriety group. I don't know if people will call in or not.
Hell yeah.
I posted the number.
Yeah, go ahead and share the stream. Oh, I didn't post it here. Let me share it.
Sometimes just with things, sometimes I've noticed with things being kind of sensitive and anonymous, sometimes people follow along.
Yeah.
A couple times, and then they don't listen to the end. Oh no, actually Eva made me this hat.
Oh.
Wow.
You like it?
Yeah, like new this year?
No, it's maybe like 3 years old.
Oh, cool. How long have you
You know
known
who
her?
else I got to make me one that was making them was Randy in Germany.
Oh, he's got, have you heard about his Coachella thing?
No.
No, and I'm the marketing guy.
He's going to be crocheting, he crochets like tiny boobs.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's interesting.
He's an interesting guy. Once I really start getting into Coachella, it's gonna get.
It's coming up. I got some big things coming up. Next week we're doing the Hallmark Christmas parody. So I've been working on that. It's a musical, which is
You don't like musicals.
I don't like musicals, and they're a bear to do like tech stuff for. And then
Why are you doing
Coachella's
that?
next week.
Yeah.
You got a full schedule for that. I'm happy to see that.
Yeah, thanks. Well, then after my birthday, it's gonna be nothing. So relaxation.
Well, we'll give Jesus and Santa Claus that day after your birthday. you
And Nicolas Cage.
Yes,
Yeah.
they had Nicolas Cage. Good.
Everyone's too tired for Christmas this year.
Yeah. Too tired, too busy. Pandemic, no Christmas.
What if Coachella becomes an international thing?
It'll be the event of the year.
I can't wait.
I've got like 2 or 3 things. I'm doing like 3 things, I think.
I'm gonna
Looking
finally
forward to it.
get to talking to people about their shows and stuff on Monday, I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I gotta figure out how I'm going to be. Do we want to try to? Is that too much? Do we want to try to do a 90-second interview with each person who's going to be in Coachella?
You can.
Okay.
That'd be really cool. I love it. But I'll probably be busy
That'd be awesome.
getting stuff together.
I might have to, wear a mask, but I might have to stay at your house for about 4 days straight.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, I have a corner of
in
my
the
bedroom that's dedicated to you.
In your bedroom.
Yeah.
In a
2
cage.
minutes. 2 minutes till
That's
show.
where the Gimp sleeps in Pulp Fiction.
I want to stay in a cage, Matt.
Throw some food and water at him. Here you go.
Nobody can cage John Regan Wharton. Nobody.
This is movie John Regan working uncaged.
Yeah.
Love it.
He's not Nick Cage. He's uncaged.
Johnny Cage. I bet you Nicolas Cage would be so into Coachella.
Yeah. Actually, I couldn't tell if it was your character or you that couldn't get the name right. I was
It
like,
was me.
Okay.
It was, and actually, I sent it to Eva, and she watched it. She's like, "This is great, but you're saying it wrong."
What were you saying, Coachella?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I was like, does his character think that he's actually, at Coachella? And he just got hoodwinked or something?
He did a bunch of mescaline. And he's like in the wrong
Johnny Sack just came out one morning at like 8:30 on the way to work. I just pulled over at the side of the road and just started Johnny Sacking it around the construction site.
Johnny Zacking it.
I love the fact that Brian got Brian excited.
Yeah. Yeah, Brian will talk to me like he just got ran over by a bus and like he's at the end of his rope and he's so depressed and stuff. And then he just like does a show or like I show him something funny and he just comes back to life.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he can get depressed dad.
30 seconds till show. Keep your cameras on. John, you're up first. I'll introduce you. Have a good show.
Thanks, Matt.
Tiffany, I want to say your last name correctly.
Siddiky.
Siddiky.
You just use my last initial just for this.
Okay. Maybe I won't say your last name then, Tiffany.
Here we go. Coming to you all the way from Norfolk, Virginia, Go On Productions and Earprov.com presents Sober Saturdays with your host, John Regan Wharton.
Oh my gosh, I can just be down the dumps and then I hear fake applause. And then I'm just like so happy. Is it that easy? Oh my gosh. December already. I'm here with some of my best friends, Tiffany and Alfred.
Hello.
Produced by Earprov out of Norfolk, Virginia, and our good friend Matt Cole. This is our third episode, and it started, we're all friends that met at the Push Comedy Theater, and we like to be creative in many ways, but we've done a lot of things on stage, and getting on stage can be scary. And, sometimes you want to, maybe, people say, how do you do that without drinking a beer or catching a buzz to be silly? But all of us are excited to say that everything that we've done on stage, we've done, sober or alcohol free. And we're not here to promote that lifestyle, but a lot of times we like to talk about it because it defines who we are. And people ask us, hey, how do you do that without a buzz? And the holidays are coming up, and that could be a tough time. Sometimes you feel like you want to indulge or overdo it. Tiffany, you have a celebration coming up mid-December, don't you?
I do. December 14th will be my 3-year, what do you call it? Sober anniversary?
Whoa!
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Anniversary. I want to make one word out of that.
Sober. Have you heard people say like the belly button birthday versus the sober birthday?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Alfred, do you know what I'm talking about, Alfred?
Yeah.
Maybe that's old school. So,
Please explain.
okay. So they would say your belly button birthday is when you were born. Can I say the mom's canal when you're the belly button birthday is when you're born and they like snip your umbilical cord, and they're like, that's your belly button birthday. But then they say that you're almost reborn again December 14th with your sobriety birthday because you're given a new life.
I see.
Sober anniversary, sobriety birthday,
Sobriety.
sobriety.
Well, it's December 14th. And then it's so crazy.
Amazing.
I just, whoa.
Tell us real quick. I know because so what made you quit early December 3 years ago?
My life just looked nothing like I thought it would. I was physically, mentally in pain, just so unhappy with where I was. And I was just over myself. I was just over it. I was over feeling gross all the time. I was over not getting anywhere, and I was over just being sad and hooked on this thing that I could tell was hurting my body.
When you say feeling gross, it made me think like feeling gross on the inside and the outside.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I just wanted to I knew that you were going to say that because I felt like that before. And then also it's funny because you're like feeling sad, but people are like, no, Fireball makes you happy.
Well, no, it does not. Not in the long run.
Yeah, when you overindulge and maybe some of us are just strong feelers or allergic or chasing some sort of dream or dragon that's not there. I don't know. I just didn't want to live with like these barstool dreams the rest of my life, and I definitely did start to feel gross on the inside. I like the way you said that. 3 years. Okay. So we're going to celebrate then December 14th.
That is a Monday.
A Monday. Oh man. Alfred, how about you? Can you remember early holidays not drinking?
The first was July 4th. Well, no. The first was Labor Day in 2004. And That's getting the time where a lot of holidays start coming back to back. You got like 4 or 5 in the next couple of months, and
We like those
so
holidays, don't we? Those 3-day weekends.
yes, I'm a fan because it's like you get a free drinking day out of it. It's just like,
And sometimes a payday too.
yeah, definitely. And
There's a sorry, go ahead.
No,
oh, that's all right.
go ahead, Tiffany.
Well, I was just there's a question. We have a question in the comment section.
Oh, nice.
Okay, I missed it. Can you read it?
Yeah, it says, "Do you feel uncomfortable around people that are drunk?"
Okay, you go ahead.
Depending on how drunk they are. So, which is funny because back when I would drink, I was of the type to go all the way, right? So just get hammered, and being around people that are completely hammered as a sober person is extremely annoying. But I think I'm okay. I'm okay personally with being around people that are drinking. That doesn't bother me anymore. I stayed away from it in the beginning, just to make sure that I had myself under control first. I don't know. What about y'all?
I'll let you go ahead first, Alfred. Then I'll speak.
Sure. Yeah, early on it was very uncomfortable. I did not like it. I just wasn't comfortable with myself in those situations. I have to ask myself when I'm going into a situation why I'm going to be around people. But now it's like I've gotten to the point where it's not there. I mean, when they're getting drunk, so I can just choose to go the other way. Like, I know that people can get obnoxious and stuff. I just don't want to be a part of that. It's like I don't think any less or more. I just know it's like I'll go over here and talk to John or Tiffany or friends. And sometimes if it's only 1 or 2 people, but if it's like 20 or 30, like if I'm like one of the only ones who's not, then that can get a little uncomfortable. But it was years before I could be around alcohol comfortably and know that it wasn't going to be a snake that's going to bite me.
It was years for me as well. So I would say I don't feel uncomfortable anymore, but as time goes on, I mean, it's crazy. I'm going on, I think 16 years now. As time goes on, I put myself less and less in those situations. So I still go to weddings, parties, concerts, events, but the reason I'm there is not to get smashed. So I don't seek those folks out, and I'm not invited as much for that. But if I'm in a situation, I can kind of handle myself, and maybe I'll just spend 20 minutes instead of 5 hours. I was talking about this earlier. I used to get very spontaneous when I drank. So I would party jump. I would get in my car. I would get loud. I just get very spontaneous. No, I can navigate through that now, but it did take a couple years to have maybe some internal tools. But it still happens to me now. If I meet someone, or it's hard with dating, or in a new relationships, even if it's not a romantic relationship, sometimes people ask like, "Hey, are you okay with drinking?" I'm okay to be around it, a camping trip or something, but I don't want it to be the intention of I don't want it to be the focus of the relationship or the focus of the event.
Yeah, definitely. And this it brings up a good thing with the holidays, because this is a time of year when we're drinking people or people who are drinking at work parties, home parties, friend parties. This year there may be less because people are asked to protect themselves, but always have a way out. Always have a buddy go with you.
Having a way out is good. So now if the party was like 8 to 10, before I might be like, well, I don't know where I'm going to be at the end of the night. But now I'm like, no, I know where I'll be. I'll be in my bed. So like I'll be, the party's 8 to 10. I'll probably just go there like a normal person, like 8 to 10, or I'll leave early.
Well, like last year we went to that art place and watched a guy flying a drone up and down for New Year's.
Yeah, that was cool. We had a neat experience, Alfred and I think we made a fire as well at the 757 acre space. And we had a
controlled fire.
A controlled fire. Still making fires on New Year's Eve. Have you removed yourself from any situations, Tiffany, where you showed up and you didn't realize things were going to kind of get drunky?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, there's even times now where my husband will invite me to go out, and I just don't have interest in it anymore. That really, it's sometimes I just don't. I've become more introverted than I thought I was in my sobriety, and it's been lovely.
Gives you time to work on yourself.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, and I'm so glad you said that, because for some reason the thing that's been like in my brain has been all about how connected mental health and sobriety are, since I feel like drinking is a coping mechanism for some people. And it made me wonder, I think like the first one of these, somebody asked like, what kind of activities do you do? And I wish I would have been like, if you need something to replace drinking, get really into your mental health. Whether that be journaling or meditating or just learning more about your past and your history, you know, whatever it is. Yeah.
So I think about this sometimes. Because I was very active in 12-step culture for years. And I remember I had a sponsor I talked to. I can still remember. It took me until like 7 months. And I was like a 28-year-old male till I could sit by myself quietly sober in a room. I had to be doing something. I thought I was going crazy. My mind was like all over the place. I couldn't sit and read. I couldn't journal. It took me like 7 or 8 months before I could be like, and like sit down. I always had to be doing something. And I had someone to talk that out with. But I think about that for mental health. Like, it took a long time to even understand, like, what is meditation? What is journaling?
Yeah.
Did you have trouble sitting by yourself alone? Like, did you freak yourself out, or did?
I think I grew up an only child. So I think if anything, I just sort of embraced what I already was. So I kind of turned to myself. I was already really good at hanging out alone.
Okay.
I was the same way. I was an only child too.
See, yeah, I grew up in a very social family, two children, 2 other siblings, and I kind of was a social butterfly. I like to talk to a lot of people, so that was tough for me. But I do have a inner monologue, and I do like to write, and now I have a lot of friends, and I talk with a lot of people, but I spend a lot of time on my own. I mean, sometimes I'll go a whole weekend and won't talk to anyone at all, physically talk to anyone. And I love it, you know? The holidays were tough in the beginning. Also in my first probably 2 years of sobriety, I didn't have a driver's license. So I just became very honest about that. And so that was a good lead-in conversation then for not drinking. Because I'm like, hey, I lost my license again, but this time I'm not drinking. And so that was like an ease where it kind of put me out there right away.
Yeah, the accountability part is a great way to stop drinking in the beginning. Confide in at least one person and just have them check in on you. I think that's great.
No, that's good. Yeah, confiding in someone. Do you want to talk about a little bit what's going on with you, Tiffany?
Sure. Yeah, I would. Since like the holidays are such a hard time, and I always felt like I was getting like the easy side of sobriety, where like I never had any crazy urges to drink really once I decided to quit drinking until recently when so Tuesday my cat Yoda, who would have been 13 in March, he passed away suddenly in the sense that it was a rapid decline in health, but at least we did get to say goodbye. But and it was nice, and we were there, and you know, but it is the first time where something has shook me so hard that my gut reaction is to numb myself because it's intolerable pain, you know. But this time around I have help. I have my husband, and I just straight up told him, I was like, I want to drink. Like, I'm not going to, but
That's okay to say.
I'm feeling that urge to. And it's been hard. It's been just from a sobriety standpoint, it's been really hard not wanting to, not jumping. I mean, I know that I am not in a place where I am going to drink. I got that 3-year thing coming up, but like, I have so much respect for anybody who has grieved while being sober, because it is a dizzy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay how long it takes and whatever it looks like. It just is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so something pops up inside of you and it's like, I need to fix this pain. Oh, I know it works. Alcohol. And it did work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you for sharing that story. That was just last week.
Yeah,
this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's okay to feel like we want to drink. It's not like it's against the law or like bad people. Like, that's what we did. And I sometimes have to realize like we don't have to feel guilty about that.
I was one of those people that didn't necessarily use AA. Nothing wrong with it. I totally get why it works, and it works for so many people. But one thing I did like is that sentiment of being very in the moment. Like, you just don't have to drink right now. Just don't drink for the next hour. Even if it's the next 30 seconds, if you have to break it down into increments that are small but present like that, that kind of thinking helps a lot, and it keeps you in the moment, I think, as opposed to being fearful of the future or whatever.
No, that's good, because I remember being at a meeting one time and a woman who was younger than me, she stood up and got like a 10-year chip. And so that was like an acknowledgement that she had 10 years of sobriety. I remember looking at her like, what? How in the fuck does anyone go 10 years without drinking alcohol? You are lying. Like, I can't go like 10 minutes, like, get out of this room, you liar. And like, I still remember that. And I was like, holy smokes, I'll never get to 10 years. Like, the world's probably going to be over. And it's funny. And now I think like, what did I do in the very beginning? It was so hard. So I like what you said about like, when people would say, hey, just go a half hour, or just try to make it until dinner time, and then try to make it until 10 o'clock at night. And I would do things like go take a shower, make a pot of coffee, take my dog on like an extra long walk. And I would call a lot of people, just talk on the phone. It's hard in the beginning. You really have to change some habits and get vulnerable.
Yeah.
What does that make you think of, Alfred? Can you relate to any of that?
Yeah, I was 5 years sober when one of my cats passed away, and it was a time I was doing some step work, and at the same time period, a couple other friends had tragedies in their families. One died of trying to detox himself from alcohol. He was on his way to the hospital when he passed, and there's all this happened in like a week. And up until that point, I couldn't cry or mourn or anything, but then just it was like amazing, because I felt like I was walking around like a Vulcan, no emotions. And then all of a sudden all these things come out, and it's like, wow, what's going on? I can't stop crying. It was good because I was finally able to mourn. I think I had 4 grandparents that hardly cried at the funerals, and then all of a sudden it all came out. And it's okay to feel your feels. I know it sounds corny, but it's like, I don't know how to feel. And then if something uncomfortable came up, my immediate reaction for it would be to drink. And then so now I don't. So what's an option? And I can't, we have to move on at some point, but that's the point where that I come to. It's not like I have 48 hours to mourn and I got to pick myself up by my pants and move on. It just takes time.
Yeah. And
it does pass, but when I'm in the middle of it, it just feels so, from my head to my stomach to my toes, just feel this heavy weight that I'm like, good God, But I had friends who both times, one came to meet me at the vet, and then this time a friend came over. She spent the night, so I wouldn't be alone, and it was just there were hard times, but I didn't find it necessary to drink, and without someone says, "Oh, we remember what worked."
Yes. Yeah. Oh, we might have a call coming in. We'll see if we'll get our guy to screen it there. Hello, do we have a caller?
Yes, you do.
Hey, this is John. Who am I speaking with?
You're talking to Tiffany's mother.
Thank you for calling.
Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you for listening. Do you like to go ahead?
Go ahead.
Tiffany told me that did you ever see the videos of her and I doing somersaults?
I did, and I thought it was adorable.
Oh, she's funny. Tiffany's got a great sense of humor.
Yeah, the reason I'm calling is there appears to be a troll on your call-in thing that is making fun of Tiffany, and I'm a mother bear, and I'm just about going crazy over this
Tonight.
And they are. You probably can't see it, but they're basically saying that Tiffany looks drunk, and that as soon as she gets off the feed, she's going to start drinking. She's going to drink tomorrow morning.
Oh goodness.
Blah blah blah.
Boy.
Can you guys see this, Tiffany?
I have not seen this.
No, I believe our producer blocked him. Is the message I'm getting? I can't see it.
The idiot's called Crink. Okay, and it's showing at the bottom of your Sober Saturdays splash here, because I can see it perfectly here. It's come up right now. What I'm trying to help, it's just a bunch of BS, and I'm just saying, I want to say to Crink, the reason Tiffany might look drunk to you is because she's literally been crying for 7 days, and I know that because I've been with her, okay? And she's probably been crying right before this broadcast came on.
Hey, Mom, I love you. It's okay. Don't worry about them.
Yeah, we got her back, and we were able to block that. But thank you for when we put ourselves out there, there's always somebody else in pain who's going to try to just drag us down. And Crink, we ain't going to drink. I don't know who that guy is. And
Okay,
Crink, you better
you.
think.
But thanks, Mom.
I apologize for even calling in. And I know
No.
I'm embarrassing Tiffany right now, but I just couldn't let it go by because she really is in a lot of pain, and she has not been drinking. She's been crying her eyes out.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
Okay,
No, you can
thanks.
call in every time.
I appreciate
Thank
you guys. You guys got a great show.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
I can't see it. Can you all see it?
On the YouTube.
No. Okay. So I know our producer will clean them up and so you know what? That's the other thing. I'm just going to get to it. So Alfred, you and I come from, well, it doesn't really matter about 12-step culture or not, but I can remember anywhere when you try to change habits, if you try to lose weight, you try to stop drinking, you come out with sexuality, you come out anywhere, there's going to be people that try to bring you down, when you make a change in your life, when you get married, when you're dating someone, it's not easy getting sober, you lose friends. Sometimes.
The first year, I didn't tell anybody for a long time. I had a couple friends I told, but I just had to really get myself squared away before I told people something that could, change. I'm making a change, and if I'm trying to do something, then it's like I feel like it's like I have a better chance just trying to work through it than the way my thinking was. If I say something, it's more of it. And if I fail at it, then
yeah.
But
I'm glad your mom called in, Tiffany. And I'm glad she's listening.
It's really wild because this person is being they're attacking my mother. So
Yeah. Well, it's all online, and I don't know. I mean, I'm comfortable continuing with the show if you are. You are?
yeah.
You sure? I'm just checking in with you. Okay. I think that is because it's digital that our producer can block it. So
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about people like this. They have to be anonymous because they are weak creatures who feed off of other people feeling down. It's classic insecurity, and it's classic just sadness. So
exactly.
Yeah. I'm celebrating 3 years of not drinking on December 14th. My mom has been an extreme support in that, and I love her very much. And this person can say whatever they want. Oh, they're going to delete messages. Oh, wait, we're getting messages deleted now. Good. It's, not worth it.
Oh man. I had someone send me a message this week about they moved to a new city and they have some really good things going on in their life. 2 young children, their husband's working a great job. They were working on an extra certification for work, but they felt like they didn't have any friends. And at night they were just decompressing with wine and felt like maybe they were taking their habit too far and they just felt kind of lonely. And they're like, is this all the world has to offer? Like, am I just, like it's hard to make friends. I'm older. I'm stressed. I'm just decompressing with wine. And I think I'm taking it too far. And maybe that doesn't mean they're alcoholic. I don't even know if sometimes how I feel about that word.
Well, because everybody's moment where they've had it is different. Mine was a deep, dark pit of despair, but not everybody stops drinking once they've hit a crazy rock bottom. Some people just recognize an unhealthy habit and want to nip it in the bud before it becomes a problem.
Yeah, that's true. It's not everyone is. Yeah, some people have different. What's the word? Like inside of them, there's a different measuring point, as you I think what you were trying to say. So then they'd say like, I'm not going to stop yet. And some people may say like, no, I'm stopping now. This is enough for me. 3 glasses of wine is too much for me on a Monday. But I don't know. I think, maybe society and some people our age and even it was even taking like a different turn and like, we don't need to use alcohol to celebrate and to get smashed. It's funny to joke about, but it's okay not to drink and still have a good holiday or have a good first date or have a good Christmas. So if I go somewhere for like the holidays or a Christmas party or an event, I time it. I don't go for the whole time. And then I try to be helpful. So I'm like, okay, maybe I can bring something for the host. Maybe I can just take out the trash. Mm-hmm. Maybe I can be a designated driver. I've been able to be a designated driver. And maybe I can just meet like 2 new people and just have like a good conversation with them. But I realize I don't have to go to a party that's from like 6 to 10 and stay there to midnight.
Right. One thing that's important is to what you're bringing to the party. Like, what can I bring to the occasion? How can I contribute to it?
And it doesn't have to be material.
Right. Because people invite us to these things because they love us. They love us for who we are.
Correct. So, like, why is someone inviting John or Tiffany to the party? Because they want her to get drunk on Fireball and be silly, or because they want to be surrounded in Tiffany's internal light and share in her accomplishments and her happiness and be part of her life. And it took me a while to realize that, even to get through my own insecurities. People don't want me there because I'm going to bring a bottle of Jim Beam. People want me there because they want to be around, John Wharton. I hope so.
I want to quickly shout out to some of our friends and our support, Gary and Eva. Thanks for saying kind words while others are choosing not to be so kind. And I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Thank you all for listening in and your kind words to us. Thank you very much.
I'm wearing my hat that Eva knitted for me, or crocheted, I guess is the term. So Eva is a good friend, and she lives a couple doors down. And Gary is the last time I've been talking with him a little bit. The last time I talked to him, I can't remember how much time he has now. So he hasn't drank since our first sober Saturday.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome, Gary.
Is that 3 months?
I think so.
I'm almost positive that he hasn't drank since then.
Nice.
And I've seen him once since then as well. Yeah. So, he's been very honest about his journey. So,
I think it was amazing was people were saying that it's going to be so hard to get sober during this, isolation and quarantine. But I've seen a lot of people come and get sober during this time. It's been a miracle. Just if they're willing to find out where we're at and they're doing the deal, it's really cool.
Okay, so we just got a message from Gary. 64 days, no alcohol.
Nice.
That's amazing.
That's a miracle because, like you said earlier, I could relate to the person who got 30 days, but 10 or 15 years is like, oh, no way. I can't stay sober like 24 hours. And then all of a sudden I'm not drinking, and you get some time and years go behind you and you're like, wow, I don't know what happened.
Tell us about some of those video meetings that you're doing in different countries, those Zoom meetings, Alfred.
I attend a lot of, most of the meetings are usually held in churches, and because of in other places, a lot of facilities aren't allowed to have a lot of people, or so a lot of the meetings went to Zoom, and I've been attending my groups I attend regularly on Zoom. I've been to meetings overseas and in all over the States. I've made some really great friends I haven't met in person over Zoom.
So how is it? Do you break off into little rooms you can talk, or does one person talk and you listen?
It's like what we're doing here, except they have different formats. They usually have like 30 to 40 people in some meetings, so everyone gets to share. And
wow,
it's like a regular meeting, except you're, in Zoom land.
Okay. Zoom land. Okay, and has that gotten you through?
Yeah, it's been helpful.
Okay.
I've had a lot of insomnia, and part of that is I have Parkinson's, so I do Parkinson's and alcoholism. So, but when I have insomnia, there's meetings all over the world, so I tie into one at 1 a.m. and been to meetings in other areas at 4 a.m. But it's there when I need it.
Are you comfortable talking about your Parkinson's a little bit? Like when you were
Sure.
diagnosed? Okay, tell us about like when you were diagnosed and like the beginning and the ups and downs and how that relates to like with drinking, or excuse me, how you've gotten through that without being sober.
Well, I had a lot of I think it was 2007 I started exhibiting symptoms, and my brain chemistry was changing, so I had a lot of anxiety and OCD, obsessive compulsive issues, but I had a lot of activities to do in my recovery fellowship. So I just kept really busy with that. And I was going into it's been 4 years in the medical system, waiting to find out what the heck was wrong. And finally in 2011, I was referred to UVA Medical Center, and then they diagnosed me with Parkinson's, because the first symptom was I couldn't start my lawnmower. I was like, that's weird.
Oh, what do you mean?
I couldn't pull it and get it to crank. And
Okay.
get the engine to turn over. I was like, this is weird. And then I started dragging my right foot. My right arm got like really emote. It was like getting just not swinging, and
Were you having insomnia at that point?
yeah, not as much as now, but and then I finally got diagnosed with Parkinson's. I was like, holy cow! I was 39, 2011. Yeah,
What?
39 when I got diagnosed.
How did you feel when they said that to you?
I was shocked.
Were you mad at all?
I was like numb. I was like, really? At first I was like, does this affect my mortality? Blah, blah, blah. But one of the first people I called was my sponsor, and then I talked to my parents when I got home. I wanted to tell them face to face.
Yeah.
And then for a year, I just was in denial about it, and then I started getting serious. I've been through several treatments, brain surgeries that help keep me going. But through the whole thing, I haven't found it necessary to take a drink, and I found sober friends that have helped me tremendously.
What's your insomnia like now? Or tell me the bads about insomnia.
Well, after a couple of days of not getting regular sleep, it wears on you. And physically, even without Parkinson's, about 2 or 3 days not sleeping well affects you. But Parkinson's, it really affects my symptoms. Like they'll flare up if I don't. So sometimes all of a sudden I'll pass out and sleep for 12 hours. But I try to find something creative to do in that time when I can't sleep. It's like tossing and turning. Okay, I'll get up and try to do a chore or try to do something, because laying there just thinking and isn't good.
So will you still have the habits, like put yourself to bed, say 11 o'clock or something, and then after a while will you just get up?
Mm-hmm.
So you still.
I can sleep. I fall asleep for like an hour and a half, and then I'm up.
Okay. So you fall asleep for a little bit, then you're up.
Yeah.
And will you sometimes just get up and like make coffee and start your day?
Yeah, I did that this morning.
Okay. What time did you get up today?
I got up like 4 o'clock, and I knew a meeting, so I went to the meeting and then had some coffee, and I've been watching some old TV shows and watching them, and then I fall asleep for an hour, and then
I kind of like you kind of have a neat life, not a neat life, but and Alfred, you're just on a different energy level. You're talking to people in Turkey on the Zoom and whatnot.
I try to make the best of it, because I can really, you can really get down on yourself, but it's like, I don't know, to be honest with you, I'm more active now being a sober alcoholic and had Parkinson's than I did the rest of my life.
Wow. Wait, say that again. That's crazy.
My life is fuller, and I'm more active now than I was before I got sober or had Parkinson's.
That's crazy. Do you think your life's fuller now, Tiffany?
Oh my gosh. It's night and day. I mean,
you have a lot of options now. Like there's you could do anything.
And I there's so many things I like. I like things. I like doing things. It's crazy.
What did you think you didn't before? Like, what do you mean?
I never would have considered doing stand-up or not stand-up, but improv if I had been drinking. It wouldn't even have been on my radar. And then, I mean, just stuff like that. Like I've just been a lot more brave in sobriety.
Yeah, I am more brave. So sometimes now I think that I really don't get embarrassed, and there's nothing really to be scared of.
Yeah.
Someone put a question here, Alfred, about does anything help your insomnia?
Sometimes, like when I can, like I've got a bad knee, so it's hard for me to walk, but if I get out and exercise and stuff, that's helped. If I take some melatonin, like it's a sleep aid, but I talk to my doctor or neurologist before I do that. But sometimes it's hit or miss.
Do you ever go for a drive or like go outside or anything, or do you try to stay home?
I've gone for rides sometimes. Sometimes I just got to get out, but and so it's just a crazy thing. My early years so sober, I had it pretty bad too. But I was like, instead of drinking beer, I was drinking coffee at meetings and smoking cigarettes. So I was like, no wonder I have insomnia.
I used to know Alfred when he smoked cigarettes. I'm just gonna say that that's crazy.
And I remember one of my business trips,
and Tiffany did too.
I did.
I was in DC, and I had to walk a lot. And I got back to the hotel. I was like, damn, I'm tired. I get dinner and pass out. And I was walking all over Washington, D.C. for work. And I was like, damn. So I started walking a lot.
Yeah.
And that was a big help. So I'm trying to get back into walking more again.
Yeah. Me too. Walking it just helps my brain, and it's just it's easy thing to do. And thank you. Someone sent us a $10 tip. Someone, I believe that's our friend Sam, Roku Dog. So thank you, Sam.
Thanks, Sam.
Another good friend of mine.
Gary shared that he likes flavored water now, seltzer water. and he's
I love
watching
seltzer water.
YouTube now on his big TV. So
Oh, someone's watching. Gary's watching us on YouTube on a 65-inch TV instead of his phone. Oh my gosh, we're so famous. We're on YouTube now.
It was Nancy.
but
I still deal with some insecurities, and I can quickly. I mean, I stay positive. I have a lot of things I do during the day to stay strong, but I still deal with some anxieties and insecurities, and I can go. I don't want to say off the deep end because I'm not someone that gets, angry, or I'm not known to be angry or loud or get mad, but I can go anxious or insecure rather quickly. How about you all? Are you comfortable sharing about that? Even though I'm just a feeling person,
Wait, what was the question exactly?
Do you still struggle with some insecurities or anxieties?
Yeah. But I'm a lot nicer to myself now, because I think
that. I like gentle.
Yeah, the whole journey of becoming someone who doesn't drink has taught me to just be kinder to myself and give myself a little bit of compassion that I normally would not have. And part of that just comes from having a clearer mind. And once you do have a clearer mind, you're able to kind of adjust and self-assess, I suppose.
So you just made me think. I love to make lists.
Me
But
too.
I can remember being younger and also being in my active drinking, and I would make lists in my head of things that were wrong. I don't do that anymore. I make lists of like things to do or things or fun things or creative things, or I write people letters, but I used to make lists in my head of things that were, I was very critical of myself and of things that I was doing. That's crazy to think about how I would spend my time making lists of things that were wrong with me or wrong with like, you know what I mean? Like,
when I was newly sober, I would spend pick 10 things I did right that day every night, because I was so focused on the negative that I was like, man, what 10 things did I do positive today?
Oh, good.
I still do that. Do you do that, Tiffany?
I don't do that. I should, but
So Alfred, talk more about that, because I still do that. And I've shared that with a friend of mine this summer. I don't think she's listening tonight, but I shared that with her. She was struggling with some things. And so I think like, okay, I got a new battery in my car 7 days ago. Now that cost me some money, but you know what? I got a new battery in my car. Number 2, I decided to chill out today and watch an old movie, Air Force One. I was gentle on myself, watch an old Harrison Ford movie. I would just make lists.
Call is what the chat's saying.
We do?
Hello.
Okay.
Oh.
I didn't hear anyone call in. Hello, this is John.
John.
Yeah, is this
Hello?
Gary?
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, good. Are you watching us on YouTube?
Yeah. So it's a little bit of lag, I think, from YouTube and the Facebook link, but you guys were talking about, things that you did when you got sober, and I've been doing some really strange things lately since I've been sober, and I just kind of wanted to mention it.
Oh, we want to know.
I've been doing this crazy thing, like going to work and paying my bills, doing the dishes, the laundry,
brushing your teeth a couple times a day.
Yeah, and when I'm scraping change together, it's like to get a soda instead of get a beer.
Yeah.
But I just, it's great though. I want to thank y'all for being on here. I look forward to it. I do counseling with the VA. I have a counselor, and we had a virtual appointment this week, and he asked about sober Saturdays, and
that's cool.
He was really happy that I'm watching that and everything with y'all, and I'm thankful for y'all.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you. That means a lot. And you said is tomorrow 64 or 65 days, no alcohol?
Yeah, tomorrow's 65.
That's crazy, Gary.
And I tell you, I've only had one instance so far that I've thought about it, and instead of just pushing it down and pretending it didn't happen, I talked to a good friend, and we spent some time together and talked about it, and it went away.
Wow.
So it was,
good for you.
You know,
That's so awesome.
What's the longest? Have you had other periods in your life where you've been sober for a couple years, or is this the longest?
the longest I ever went was 2 years. And,
Okay.
But that was when my 20-year-old was about 6 or 7. So it's been quite some time since I've had a run like that.
Do you feel stronger or different now?
Oh, physically, I feel 1,000 times better. I mean, as you know, I was hospitalized and everything, so yeah. I've gotten my energy back. I'm taking the vitamins and the meds that I'm supposed to take. I'm eating now. That's another strange thing. You know, when I'm on my binge, I don't eat. So,
how about does your weight go up or down at all? Like, do you lose weight quickly? I would lose weight quickly when I stop drinking.
Actually, it's been staying about the same. I eat a lot more. You know, I had a massive weight gain a couple years ago, and that's pretty much just stayed with me. But I did lose from when I was binging. I've lost about 27 pounds. So
okay, that's good. That's great, man.
But
and thanks for just calling in. I really appreciate it. And just I'm glad that you came back into my life.
Well, thank you, John.
Great
you
job,
really helped
Gary.
me out a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks, Al.
All right. Was it okay if we let you go?
Yeah, absolutely. You guys have a good evening.
Okay. Talk to you later.
Your girl too.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to address one of the questions that was brought up. Someone shared that they would have insomnia and go down the YouTube rabbit hole until they could fall asleep. I do the same thing. I mean, if I'm trying to keep my mind occupied, because I don't want to sit here toss and turn, so I go down the YouTube rabbit hole. But I found certain things are better for me than others. Like Bob Ross is amazing to watch or listen to when I'm trying to sleep, or a fire or the ocean, or like a crackling fire, or something that's like not gonna energize you, like hard techno music or
UFO conspiracies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I tried to start listening to the crackling fire, but I'm stuck on rain sounds or lately waterfall.
Rain sounds are good. I like that. Yeah. And then, this is funny because, I'll listen to a fire. I'll go for an hour trying to find the perfect one.
Alfred, the perfect fire sound?
Yeah, I do. The perfect. Oh, this one I don't like. That's too much thunder. So let me go to the next one. It's like, I know it sounds silly, but it's just like,
you're kind of snooty. That's why you have insomnia, because you're so snooty.
I need to just start leaving my phone outside the room.
You're like, then do you start writing into to YouTube about, you're like, this fire has too many crackling sounds?
No, I don't.
I can make a better digital fire than this, Oh, that's funny. That's kind of cool that Gary said he mentioned to his VA rep that he was watching Sober Saturdays.
That's great.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I have a question. So the other day in my grieving and whatever, and I was driving around, I had a moment where I was thinking about going to AA, but right now with COVID and everything, what's going on with AA? It's a world I don't know. So
I'll let Alfred take it. He's pretty involved.
They have meetings all the time, all over the world. You can go to
in person,
but is there still in person?
They do have in-person meetings too. It depends on the district. There are several in the peninsula area and the south side that are open. If
they Google, are we area 72?
71.
71. Mm. So
you can go to AA World Services. AAG, it's like www.aa.org, and then you can pull up and then you can type in AA Norfolk or AA Portsmouth, and it'll come up. And a lot of the meetings are practicing social distancing, wearing masks, and so there are in-person meetings available.
Someone also added me on Facebook to a local AA Facebook group that puts links for local Zoom meetings.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have to, some people aren't ready to like jump on a Zoom call with 19 people they don't know. But if you're comfortable and you're ready for that, but you could probably block your screen. But someone added me to that. I have not done any AA Zoom meetings.
I would love to do a Zoom meeting. Send me that link.
Okay. Well, Gary is now putting in our chat that they're still meeting in person. He knows of some, and there's an app.
Okay, cool.
Gary's got the hookup. Gary, yeah. So maybe Gary will send me a link to that.
Perfect.
And I can send a link to. It's our mutual friend, if I can say his name, Ray Alfred.
Mm-hmm.
Has sent me some links before.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that Alfred, you even started a meeting in Hampton like 10 years ago, didn't you?
Yorktown.
Yorktown. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The Battle of Yorktown.
My home group was in Hampton, but I was in York. I'm in Yorktown.
Let's see. Do we have any other calls or anything else coming to the message?
I think the biggest thing is just people. Sobriety's there when you want it, and we're there to help people through their early days and through their lives. So it's like it's available. And the people were saying, well, people, how are they going to get sober? They can't find us on Zoom, but I've seen people, they got 30 days, 50 days, 6 months, and we've been in this pandemic for like almost 9 months. So people are getting sober. Where there's a will, there's a way.
I was just thinking about something. We can wrap it up here in the next, 5 minutes or so. What if we each said, I'm going to put you on the spot. What if we each said something that we now like about ourselves or discovered about ourselves, maybe personality or hobby, since we became sober?
I got into historical reenacting and improv comedy, and those are the two big things that were huge. But right away, like first off, I had to focus on getting sober before I injected all these things, because things can take over, get more attractive than being sober, and I gotta get myself straight first before I start jumping into these things, and then the priority of staying sober will go to the back, and then I would risk losing everything. But having things to help keep me, I get sober and get to do these things because I got sober. It's like, it's a saying, I gotta think of it.
What is it? What is one tip for the holidays, Alfred? If you're just meeting someone in an elevator and they're about to go into a party and they're like, I don't want to drink tonight, what's just one or two things that you could say to them?
Phone a friend.
Call a friend, yeah. And
invite someone to go with you, have your own transportation.
You know what's funny? I used to think that phoning a friend, that they were going to give me the answer, but then I realized it's just the act of phoning a friend and just talking with them, like Gary shared that he talked with someone, just talking with someone for 5-10 minutes.
Or invite someone to go with you. I'm going to this party, I'm nervous, can you come with me?
Yeah, that's good. Tiffany, are you comfortable sharing maybe like one or two?
Yeah. Well,
3 or 4 or 5 or 6.
All of the questions. One thing I learned about myself is that I'm a lot more fearless than I thought, which led me into my new hobbies like acting and improv, things that I never thought I would actually do. They're just kind of in the back of my mind, and then here we are. But my tip for the holidays is just to be prepared. Have lots of liquids, even if that means having like a 12-pack of flavored seltzer water in your car at all times, just to make sure that you're not walking into a situation where you don't have anything non-alcoholic to drink.
Because we used to prepare when we drank.
Yeah. Why don't you prepare not to drink? Yeah, that's a great point. I
just thought it,
yeah. So yeah, just be prepared. And I love the accountability, having someone that will check up on you, even if it's not an actual person. Maybe it's an app or something. Just some version of accountability, just to be a nice, gentle reminder when you need it.
Our friend Gary just texted me the app, and so I'll share that with you all here after we get through this.
Oh, I've also gotten into podcasting.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
How could I forget that? We're doing it and I forget about it.
Yeah, me too. I also got into improv comedy. I did stand up for a little bit. I always used to think of myself as a writer, and now I was actually able to talk about it out loud and share spoken word poems, writing out loud. Something kind of cool. I don't know if you all know this, but I like to paint. And I know both you guys like to paint, and Tiffany's a great artist, but I went through this crazy watercolor painting phase. And then like the manager of Bearded Bird Brewery asked me to display all my water painting like 2 or 3 years ago at their brewery. And then I ended up selling like 2 of them for like $35.
Whoa.
And I'm like sober, and I have like an art show. I'm like, who am I? You know? Like, you know, it might have been like my first couple months at Push, because I think like 2 people came down. I remember my friend Ashley Hall, she was excited about it. So they might have been when I was in 101. But also it's interesting. I've gotten closer with some family members, some aunts and uncles and cousins, you know, because I've been sober a long time now. So I've taken the time sometimes just to like call a cousin or like write a letter to like an aunt. You know, I've gotten to know, or even visit. And I've gotten closer with my parents, and I feel younger.
Yeah,
I feel hopeful and younger. I don't feel, it's interesting. I feel hopeful and younger.
Oh my gosh. If I wish, maybe I'll find one, a before and after picture of what I looked like. I mean, my skin, right now is not a great comparison, just because like my mom said, I've been, crying and whatever, but my skin improved so much when I quit drinking. It was wild.
Yeah, before and after pictures, definitely. Also, I want to give a shout out. This hat was made by my friend Eva. If you're still watching, I know you are. Oh boy. Does anyone have a project that they're working on? Anything they want to share? Theater. Go ahead.
I feel like I want to address this person that is heckling us. I hope you find something else to do with your life than bully 3 people who are being their truest selves. And I sincerely hope the best for you and your journey to not be such an asshole. So
well said.
Come back to this podcast.
Well said. Well, we got through Thanksgiving. We will definitely get through Christmas and the New Year's. We will. I'm excited that we are down. So I like saying the word, stripping the video from these and taking these audios and releasing them as like a little podcast, so people can listen to them in the future. I want to keep this going. I've thought about having guests, so we can talk about that. And it's at sobersaturdays.podbean.com, sobersaturdays.podbean.com. And we have a very good friend of ours, Matthew Cole, who's going to have a 24-hour podcast where a lot of us are going to be involved. Coachella. And is that December 18th, and it's going to go for 24 hours at 8 p.m. Eastern, and all of us probably have some sort of little flavor we're going to add to that, but I wanted to give a shout out for that as well. And anything else you wanted to add, Tiffany or Alfred?
I am good.
This is our best one ever, I think. I'm loving it. We talked this is our best one ever. Our next one's going to be January 2nd. I'm going to be so hungover.
There.
January 2nd. What day of the week is that? Should we? Oh, I guess it's a Saturday. It's Sober
It's a Saturday. Well, it's imagine it'd be funny if it's Sober Saturdays on Friday. Then we
Sober Saturday. I'm like, what day of the week is Sober Saturday? Okay. Well, any brief New Year's Eve thoughts before we? What are you guys doing for New Year's Eve? Or maybe we'll I don't know, Alfred. Maybe we'll try. I don't know. That's right. Pandemic. I don't know, but
be safe. Be considerate of others.
Yeah.
Well, at least let's make sure if you're listening now, please tune in next month because we want to hear about your New Year's and what you did.
Right.
Even though we have years of sobriety and some of you are new, we can still learn from you. And I have already. So please share with us.
Yes, we would like to know what you did to stay sober. If you ate soup and went to bed, if you took a bath with your partner. I don't know where that came from. whatever you did.
That's some new year.
It's on my bucket list for sober New Year's.
I want to go into space and you want
to yeah, take a bath. Okay, well, I am your host, John, and I'm here with my best friends, Tiffany and Alfred, and our host, Matt of Earprov, and this is Sober Saturdays, December 5th, 2020. You can find us on sobersaturdays.podbean.com. Thank you to Eva, Sam, and Gary. And for anyone else that I missed, I know sometimes Patrick or Anna or
Tiffany's
Bobby.
mom.
Oh, Tiffany's mom. What's your mom's first name? Is it okay if I call her first name?
Yes.
Michelle. Thank you for calling in. All right. Love you guys.
Take care, everyone. Love you all. Happy holidays. Happy New Year.
Here's my Matt Cole hair.